The story begins under a bed. A woman moves around the room above him, tidying, shifting things from one place to another. She has no idea anyone is watching. He has been down there so long that the right side of his face has gone completely numb. His name is Naoto Mitsui. He speaks to us directly, the way someone speaks when they have run out of people to talk to. He tells us he has been living under this woman's bed. Down there in the dark, he doesn't feel like a person anymore. He feels like something that used to exist and slowly stopped. He closes his eyes. He tries to remember the taste of a coffee he once shared with her. That's all he has left. Then the door opens. The woman comes in with a man. Clothes hit the floor. The bed starts moving above him. Naoto reaches up and presses his hand against the mattress, gently, almost tenderly, like he's trying to feel something through the surface. This is where it gets worse. Naoto begins telling us his story. Since childhood, he compared himself to parasites, the kind that live under rocks. They exist, they breathe, but no one ever sees them. His classmates had friends, plans, places to be. Naoto stood in the middle of all of it like a blank space no one bothered to fill. He tells us about the class photo. Another student was absent that day and got added to the image afterward. Naoto was present, he just wasn't told. By the time he found out and ran to the rooftop, the shot was already taken. His classmates laughed about it for days. No one noticed the one person missing from the conversation, not even his parents. A rainy June afternoon. Naoto steps into an elevator and catches a scent, and 11 years collapse in an instant. A girl, a coffee, a name. Her name was Chihiro Sasaki. And the memory that hit him in that elevator wasn't vague, it was exact. He's 30 years old, but he still remembers everything about her with the kind of precision that belongs to things that happened this morning. It started in a university classroom. A professor asked Naoto to translate a sentence. He stood up with nothing until a girl behind him leaned forward, said his name quietly, and slipped him a book with the answer already written inside. He'd never heard anyone say his name like that before. After class, he found her and thanked her. She smiled without making it a big deal. He asked, almost before he'd decided to, if she wanted to get coffee. She said yes. At the cafe, she ordered something. He ordered the same. She talked easily, about her friends, her clubs, her favorite things. Naoto sat across from her and studied every detail. What hit him hardest was how opposite their worlds were. She moved through life and people moved toward her. He existed in the same spaces and left no trace. She fell quiet and said, "You're very quiet." His mind went blank. Then she tilted her head and asked, "What's your hobby?" "Guppies." He said it before he thought about it. Fish. He knew everything about them, could talk about them all day. For the first time in a conversation, the words came without effort. They talked. He promised to give her some. They agreed to meet on the 10th of the month. Remember that date. Then she called and canceled. The landlord didn't allow fish tanks. One phone call. And it was over. It should have been over. 11 years later, Naoto hires a private investigator. 72 hours later, a full report. Chihiro is married. Her husband is Kentaro Hamasaki, a government official, 5 years older. The file includes her address. Naoto goes to her building. He walks slowly around the block, wondering if she'll recognize him. She passes within a few feet of him. She doesn't. Her eyes are flat. She looks exhausted. The scent he remembered is gone. Whatever she was at 19, that version of her has been erased. Naoto rents a shop space in the neighborhood. He'll sell fish. But the real reason is one specific window. It has a direct line of sight into Chihiro's apartment. He sets up the room. On the wall, a photograph of her, enlarged until it covers most of the surface. In the corner, a mannequin dressed in exactly what she was wearing the day they had coffee. Same perfume. He closes his eyes and sprays it into the air, and for a moment, the room feels occupied by someone who isn't there. 10 days into his surveillance, something shifts. Chihiro is at the dinner table with her husband. Without warning, he throws a drink in her face. Then he hits her. The curtain falls before Naoto can see the rest. The next morning, Chihiro has a completely swollen eye. This has been happening every day. He starts sending her flowers, anonymously, on the 10th of every month, the date he was supposed to bring her the fish. She throws them straight in the trash. He keeps watching. Chihiro eventually comes into his shop. He sells her fish. He gives her a tank, one with a few scratches, he says, that he can't move otherwise. She accepts. He goes to her apartment to set it up. While she's in the kitchen, he takes her key, copies it, and returns it before she's back. He builds a hidden microphone into a lighter and leaves it in her bedroom. He places it on the nightstand, next to where she sleeps. Now he can hear everything. What he hears, he records. He listens to those recordings every day, like a song he can't stop playing. At some point, Naoto stops watching from across the street. He goes under the bed. He wears a diaper so he never has to leave. He lies there in the dark, pressed against the floor, as close to her as he'll ever get. Then, one night, Hamasaki finds one of the anonymous notes Naoto sent with the flowers. He decides Chihiro has a lover. He drags her to the bathroom. He holds her head underwater. Naoto hears every second of it from underneath the bed. He does not move. Later, when Hamasaki is asleep, Naoto crawls out. He finds Chihiro still in the bathroom. He pulls her clear of the water, carries her to the living room, and holds her against his body to warm her. She isn't dead, but she's barely there. Chihiro narrates this section herself. She says she has stayed alive for months because of flowers that arrived on the 10th of every month. She never knew who sent them. Her doctor had told her the footsteps she heard in the empty apartment were in her head, the baby laughing at nothing, also in her head. She believed him. She thought she was losing her mind. She was never losing her mind. Something really was there. Now, here is what the film has been holding back. Naoto has a memory, clear, specific, detailed, of the day he brought Chihiro her fish, of the afternoon he spent in her apartment, of a moment between them that felt like the beginning of something real. None of it happened. Chihiro canceled the meeting. They shared one coffee 11 years ago and never saw each other again until he found her. Every visit, every conversation, every private meaning Naoto thought existed between them, his mind constructed all of it from a single afternoon. He did not lose a relationship. He took 90 minutes of someone being kind to him and built an entire life around the memory. That means Chihiro never forgot some deep bond. She never walked away from something unfinished. She simply moved on from a brief encounter that barely registered in her life, while Naoto spent 11 years feeding it until it felt more real than reality itself. This is what the film is actually about, not the stalking, not the abuse, the terrifying ease with which a person can fall in love with their own version of someone and mistake that version for the truth. Chihiro escapes one night while Hamasaki sleeps. She takes the baby and runs. Naoto watches through the window. He follows. He can't stop her. And it's only now that he understands why he never called the police. If Hamasaki had been arrested, Chihiro would have left. No more surveillance, no more proximity, no more 10th of the month. He told himself he was protecting her. He was protecting his access to her. That is possession wearing love's face. Hamasaki tracks her down. He intends to finish what he started. Naoto appears. He uses a taser to knock Hamasaki down. Chihiro stares at the man who just appeared from nowhere. "Who are you?" Naoto says nothing. He walks away. If you've ever stayed close to someone from a distance, too afraid to simply say who you are, you already understand this story better than Naoto did. Subscribe. This channel is for people who feel things like this. He turns himself in to the police. He confesses to killing Hamasaki. Then, he hears a voice in the corridor. Chihiro came to the station. She'd gone back to his apartment first. She saw the photographs covering the wall, the mannequin in her clothes, and somewhere in that room, a university photo, a face she recognized. She remembered him. Naoto looks at her across the room, and he starts to cry. Two men occupied Chihiro's life. One destroyed her in plain sight. The other watched it happen from under her bed and called it devotion. She was alone either way. The film doesn't ask you to choose which was worse. It asks you something harder. How much of what we call love is actually just fear of being invisible, pointed at someone who once made us feel seen? Naoto only needed to say his name, that's all. Just, "I'm the one who was going to bring you the fish. I've been thinking about that coffee for 11 years. But he didn't. And now she remembers him, and it doesn't change a single thing.